Hello
Hi.
and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Beyond Business Live series. We are having it stream over many social media. And thank you so much for joining with us. I'm Dr. Azeeza Jalaludeen. Together with me, I have Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Hi. Hi. Today we meet not for the first time, and as usual, we talk about innovation, about investments, and the global synergy, of course. But I think we have a most important thing for create it because it depends from yourself. And
Yes.
today we have a very unique, as usual, unique
Yeah.
specialist with unique experience. And this beautiful lady can share with us how you can promote yourself, how you can build yourself. And it can help to achieve your goals, your targets, and a lot of important things.
Absolutely. And this Business Beyond Business Live series, we have brought to you because this is in conjunction with our International Investors Forum happening on February the 23rd, this Sunday, here in Raffles
Yes.
Town Club, Singapore. So we are excited to let you know more about it. So stay tuned because, as you know, many of the speakers and people that have showed up in this show are partners, important mentors, and connections, including investors network as well as business leaders, professionals, and institutions. Right. So of course we have our diamond sponsor LKS Private Wealth and our gold sponsor Big Orange Media Partner. So, because of this exciting event, we have invited the guest, and today's guest, as what Victoria said, is Cindy Francis. I'm going to welcome her onto the stage. Welcome, Cindy. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Cindy.
Everyone.
Yes,
Thank you for allowing me to be on this important call. This
yes, it
important
is.
we share our energy and enthusiasm for moving the globe forward, right? For
Absolutely, absolutely.
conscious leadership, business, and upliftment of all.
Thank you. And we want to give our official introduction to you because you do some soulful, amazing work from where you are. And Cindy's coming in from New Zealand. She has been in New Zealand for more than 20 years. And she's been an entrepreneur, now moved into as a trainer for the Peter Stage Institute Academy. And she's also our Go Global Business School shareholder. And she's an artist, a powerful artist with a unique touch of humanity. So thank you so much, Cindy, for joining us today.
Thank you for that warm welcome.
Yes,
Amazing.
thank you for your time, Cindy. Maybe you can help understand and explain. Now we have a same rhythm of our head with Aziza, how it works. Because maybe this is a same thoughts inside of our heads or same feeling inside of our body, how it works.
Yes,
So yeah, so you're talking about synergistic alignment, right? So what happens is, manifesting and 1 + 1 = 11. So everyone has an energy and has an energy imprint, and also through intent, we also convey verbally and also energetically, enthusiastically, what our mission is and how we want to live our life and what we want to attract into our life. And when you get a few people who have the same alignment, then it's called a mastermind. And it's not like three people, the energy of three people. What it does, it emanates from the energy of three people, and it's exponential. So that's where we it's like gathering momentum. So, each of us has got our own influence group, and the more we talk about these things, like for us, we Go Global is for global peace, or we're talking about my purpose in life is to transform lives with grace and ease, and I do it through my art, and I do it through my transformational coaching. And that's what I love about Go Global, is that in the Go Global ecosystem, we've met amazing people who have their own individual superpowers, but on top of that, we have this I'd call it a movement, and a movement of moving forward for the betterment of all. And we're not just talking about money. Yes, we're working in business, but we are talking about more of a ethnocentric vision.
Absolutely. I think Victoria will relate to this, like the winning team and the synergistic alignment. I think you got the word from her because you could really feel where she's coming from. And that's exactly how the IIF is being tuned in. You know, our partner here, I'm here with Mr. Ayyapadas in Chennai, and I was telling him how he was asking me, how many teams are working on this? I'm like, we have a team handling this and this and this, and we're all coming together because we have one purpose, one mission. And I have to thank for manifest, you know, Almighty for manifesting Victoria into our life, because there's so much of alignment that we have when it comes to consciousness work and talking about, you know, creating impact and definitely wealth creation. This is not a social project. Friends, this is serious business, serious investments that we're talking about, but bringing our heart into it. So appreciate Cindy for really making this short introduction of the work that Victoria was asking about. And we want to, also understand from you, you know, the conversation about conscious leadership and the kind of dynamics it brings to the table. I mean, maybe you can share with us on that a little more.
So when you talk about conscious leadership, previously I had been in business, and for me, previously business meant competition, vying for same market space, marketplace, and that is a scarcity mindset. It's driven by fear that there is not enough opportunity in the marketplace, and fear as in wanting more for self, almost like an ego-driven mindset. Whereas when we talk about conscious leadership, conscious business, we're talking about something ethnocentric, not within ourselves, wanting for myself. It's a rising tide lifts all ships. So we're talking about, if I uplift myself and I give value, then the value comes in different ways. The value doesn't have to be in a competitive monetary way. It could be, I give value and it has a ripple effect, a butterfly effect, and the value comes back to me in business, in connections, in skills, in giving back to society. And I love this way of doing business that Go Global stands for. You know, thinking from egocentric to ethnocentric means that instead of me being in New Zealand having such a small market, suddenly I expand my offerings and my value service to a global market. And that is so powerful, especially now that we've got a digital market and we've got the internet. Very, very thankful for the COVID pandemic, because a lot of people, you know, got stuck in and for me, I would say that was my blessing. During the COVID pandemic, I got stuck and I couldn't move forward, because we had a very serious lockdown in New Zealand. For 8 weeks, we couldn't see anyone. We couldn't visit our parents. We couldn't interact with anyone. And we had the strictest laws in the world for enforcing this pandemic. And a lot of people found that very, very difficult. But I took that an opportunity. There is such a thing as that you can turn your pain into positive energy. It's where you take that energy, the compressed energy of saying you've had enough, and you want to move forward. So in the pandemic, that was for me. I had enough of being isolated, of being stuck, and I wanted more in life. And that's where I reached out online. I reached out online and I decided that because I couldn't physically interact with people, I was going to go and seek an amazing peer group online. And how we talk about manifesting, because I didn't have a social group. I was very much an introvert. I couldn't put my Zoom screen on and I couldn't talk to anyone. And I'd had enough of that. So I came across the Peter Sage Academy and I did a 6-month transformational course. And through that course, I realized that I cannot be stuck in life and not talk to anyone, because I needed to grow to live. If I wasn't growing, then I was moving backwards. And that's where I decided that to help others, I needed to talk. And I forced myself to talk. And what happened? The universe opened. The universe opened. I did the 6-month EMF Peter Sage transformational course myself, decided to be a coach, a trainer, and I decided to be an expressionist, abstract expressionist artist. And through those networks, I came across Go Global. And I was always based in the West. And I thought, how on earth did I end up in the East? Because I'm Asian, but I've always had a Western outlook. And I can only think that it was aligned energy and a magnetism that ended me going back towards my roots in Asia, because I'm from South Africa. I live in New Zealand, and I've always been on the Western side of the world. And now here I am interacting on the Eastern side of the world, and so grateful, because I really feel it's like I've come full circle. I've come home. I've come home. A lot of the beautiful connections I've made, Malaysia, Singapore, now like talk about globally, meeting Victoria, right? So
Yes.
I just feel there was always a feeling in me that there was a missing part of me, because I was always, brought up in a Western way, although I'm from Asian heritage. And now that I've come to interact in the East, it's absolutely beautiful, because suddenly I may not have known it consciously, but all of that Asian heritage is kicking in for me now. So it feels very right for me. I feel very inclusive and very welcomed. So I thank you guys for that.
The power of conscious leadership, as you say, starts with owning up our own direction and taking ownership of our life, and that's what you've taken. So you ended up not just, you talked to us about your investment into the farm that you have, and then all these with Go Global as a business school leader, and so you are holding the hat of a business owner with your husband's business, as well as with Go Global as an investor. And that support system is really walking that journey yourself when it comes to globalization. So it's your own perspective that, or your intention, that has become a truth to the world, right? So that is really about the inner growth. So thanks for sharing that with us. Victoria, is there any questions you have for Cindy? I know.
When Cindy talk about competition, I think that unfortunately a lot of people think about competition from bad meaning. Yes, and this is a very aggressive way. But if we use that Cindy share with us, we can understand that this is not competition when you maybe do bad things related to your competitor. You can collaborate with your competitors. Yeah, you can think positively, and I think this is a very right time to do it, because if you support your competitors, and you can create or collaborate, and you can create something unique, because you don't spend your time for the best for the bad things, and this is your power. This is not about bad things.
Absolutely.
I love that word create, because we are the creators of our own destiny. And the world has changed, and previously business was competitive, and
Yeah.
that's a mindset of scarcity and lack. It's assuming that there's only a limited amount of business. But when we realize what is intrinsically in us, we have a superpower to manifest. We have the superpower to create a bigger market. Every day, markets, ideas, products are being created that never existed before. And exponentially, I mean, even next month, next week, there are going to be markets created by expanded minds that never existed before. So we don't even have to think that we have to be competitive with another business in the same service, because then it can never be the same. We will attract, everyone will attract customers that align with us, and every certain person can expand their business without diminishing or taking away from another. And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of this conscious business. It's all
Yes.
win-win.
Yes. And even if we talk about same things, for example, I'm on a investment platform, international investment platform, and if we talk about another investment platform, every business, in my humble opinion, has their unique target auditory, and we can work for our auditory, everyone, every business, and we can collaborate, and it can help mix our auditory, and it can impact to our profit, maybe to our development.
Mm.
Exactly.
As we know, this IIF International Investors Forum is not just about getting investment, which we are focusing on attracting a lot of investors to look at projects which can impact lives. Then the most important thing is for the business owners who are showing up, to have a clear strategy of globalization where the synergistic alignment happens, like what Cindy talked about, and also getting into a world beyond competition. Victoria, you said it right, because a lot of businesses, when they don't have a clear business model, that's where they fear competition. If you have in your mind, and we share this a lot in our accelerator program that Cindy co-leads with us, we say if you have fear of competition, that means you have a business model that is not working. So if you,
Yes.
that is clear, that's so clear, because, and if you have a fear of competition, and sometimes people say, especially technology, it can be so sensitive because technology is like every second it's moving, and people are now saying, oh, I don't have this is not a unique one, everybody have it, then I'm sorry, the investability just went down, right? So to
Yes.
get into a clear business model is also important. So that's why in IIF, we are not just talking about investment, we're also talking about clarity in your strategic alliance, in growing your business and really getting into new dynamics. And that's why, when Cindy, we invited Cindy, we wanted her to talk into this very intrinsic nuances that needs to be addressed among SMEs. So you want to shoot the next question to her. Let's pick her brain some more.
Okay.
So one of the question, yeah, you want to say that, or I'll do it. Okay. One other question we had for you was some of the daily practices that someone can do with their mind. Like, no, 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 no. What is it that they can do? What they
Okay.
can do?
So one of the really big highlights is a thing called the oath of manifestation, right?
Great.
So
So just before that, Cindy, let me complete the sentence so people know exactly what daily practices. The question is, what daily practices or mindset shifts can leaders adopt to stay aligned to their mission without giving up, without saying they can't do it? So what is their daily practices?
so for me, I always have this, it's called a mind movie, and how I say that we are the creator of our own reality. So everything starts with internal intention and our thoughts. So nothing gets created or nothing gets actioned without an initial thought. And an initial thought, for me, in the way I do my daily practice, I always try and align my goal with my purpose. So my purpose, which took me a while to work out, but my purpose is to transform lives with grace and ease. So I have that in my mind every day. And when I'm doing business, I ask myself, is this leverage and in alignment with me transforming lives with grace and ease? So uplifting others. If it's not, then it doesn't belong in my daily thoughts. And I'll start with a weekly practice. Every week on a Monday, I recheck my goals for the quarter. I write my goals on a piece of paper and I put it on my office wall. I also do a silent meditation just to clear myself and reset myself. And then I start on a silent meditation, and then I do an active meditation. And the active meditation is me visualizing my goals as though they have already been achieved. So I run a little mind movie in my mind, and I just close my eyes. And for me, I visualize all the people that I'm helping with coaching and how their lives change and how they're writing me texts about saying, hey, I'm so excited since I did the course, this happened, that happened, all these amazing things happen. And then I also imagine that when people see my art, they are deeply touched, and they are touched in a way that uplifts them, that maybe they may not even understand in their subconscious mind, but something internal shifts for them. And maybe something clears or moves them towards being inspired towards something. So I run these little mind movies in my mind. And if I've got a particular goal I'm after, I put a little timer for myself 3 times a day, just a quick little mind movie. And I've done things like, one of them is I wrote in my mind movie that I want to go on a cruise, and I didn't tell anyone. And a few months later, my husband came back and he went, hey, guess what? I've just booked us on a cruise. Things like that. So when you set your intention, what you're actually doing is you are gathering the energy and telling the universe what you want. You're putting your order in, of what you want. You don't even have to verbalize it. You can energetically put it in your mind, have your thoughts, and create the magnet for it. Because when we put intention out, we are actually creating. We are putting in intention, telling the universe to draw energy from the. It sounds a bit woo-woo, but it's not actually woo-woo. From the unseen, right? From the unseen place, and we're creating it into the physical world. And it starts with that thought. And a lot of
go on. Sorry, a lot of
amazing things can happen. Like I did write there that I wanted to create some artworks. And recently I bumped into a person, and out of the blue, and they said, go and talk to this gallery. And that gallery, I showed my artworks, and they said, can you please come every year? We want you to come back every year. So, things like that that happen through me.
This thing when people say woo-woo, it's like too good to be true, and it's something we cannot see. And this is so true in the investment space. Like people who are very left brain, they cannot see. They are very logical. They cannot see this logic behind it. What is exciting is, and Victoria, I'm sure you get to hear this right now, that there is such thing as evidence has proven, quantum physics is showing that everything is energy. And what Cindy is talking about is all energy. And when we set the right energy in our body, it vibrates out the energy to us. So that's the power of staying positive. That's a conversation we've been having with Victoria and I, and how negativity can also bring in negative. Unfortunately, that's how it vibrates, right?
Yeah. So you were talking like daily practice, and a lot of these things we've heard before, but also if we're in gratitude. So actually, when we were in gratitude, we are actually saying to the universe that whatever you've sent to me is, I treat it as a gift, and I'm grateful for it. And because we're grateful, we draw more into our lives. If we weren't grateful, we're creating a blockage. We are creating a blockage because we're closing the door to invite greatness into our lives. But when we're grateful, then we're opening the door to that. So that is a very important thing, because when we say vibration and energy, it's not actually that woo-woo, because if we meet a person and they're happy and they're energetic and they're enthusiastic, we want more of that person, right? We are drawn to that. So people, places, circumstances, things, it's all the same principle, magnetism. So people's, places, circumstances, if it's negative, then we don't want to go there. But if it's positive, we're drawn there. So that is how we create our reality and our own opportunity.
And living with grace and ease, is that what you said your word is?
With grace and ease.
Yeah,
For
that's so beautiful.
instance, one thing that I always, so I'm from Africa, and in Africa, we have seen the greatest suffering in Africa. I have seen the greatest suffering, and it's always been in my heart that whatever I do, I want to alleviate suffering. And for me to do that, I would love it to be in the most graceful, most peaceful, most easy, honorable way, instead of, having to relive the trauma. I think reliving the trauma is unnecessary. Change can happen instantly through grace and ease. Like you could just maybe look at a beautiful painting, listen to a beautiful piece of music, and you're not engaged in your thinking mind. It touches you on a subconscious level and uplifts you in a different way. So this is the changing the language of how we interact. Previously it would all be very formal, it would be verbal, it would be written, whereas now there are other ways to communicate energetically, intentionally, creatively.
You said it, because then that's where the conversation comes to coming together in unity, where like-minded people show up, they speak into consciousness, they speak into impact, they speak into exponential growth, which is very important, because a lot of time the people who talk about money will stay together and talk about money, and then the people who talk about impact stays together and talk about impact. And these are all separated entities or organizations that when you go to the impact guys, they will say, oh, the money guys, da 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 da. They have something not so good to say, and we are changing the world. And then these guys in the money side will say, it's all about the money. What impact? Let's make some money. And so it's been all dispersed, and energetically, for those on both sides have their pros and cons. So when we come together and we say, let's talk impact and let's talk.
That's why we create IIF event.
Yes. So Cindy, tell us, why do you think people should show up for IIF?
So we're talking about that synergistic alignment, right? And before, we would be thinking one-on-one. So a small business, one-on-one, me and a one-on-one customer. But here what we're talking about, the IIF event, is we're talking matching people to collaborate on aligned projects, aligned working relationship, aligned energy. And we're talking about one-to-many. We're talking about an expanded growth where we work together globally, not just we're talking from moving towards an ethnocentric impact, but also instead of thinking short term, we're actually thinking about long term change. And that can only happen through inspiration, because we can push our way and force our way in business and make things happen in a very kind of, I'd say, a warrior energy, like with a hard force, right? Or we can have one person just inspire a whole nation with a message, and
Yes.
that draws people in with grace and ease.
Absolutely. And thanks for reminding everybody. Sometimes it's just showing up in a space where energetically we shift. And that's the energy that some of the leaders and speakers that's coming to the stage is going to present. The difference between a trainer and speaker and a conscious leader is the wisdom and the experience they bring in. So sometimes people are just speaking and they're just giving PowerPoints and explanations. And then there are those who live it as an experience and they share, and it becomes transformational. And we are in IIF, drum rolls, bringing you people who have walked the journey and made the changes and have that experience, share with everyone, and then decide to work together. So these are real investors, real business people causing real changes and transformation in the world, which makes it really powerful for people to show up and just naturally vibrate positivity. So that's exciting. I'm excited already. Thanks, Cindy, for prepping us up.
So
Join
you
us,
can
yes.
say,
Where is our link, Aziza? Register
Yes,
right now,
exactly.
please.
Yes, register right now. Exactly. Go ahead, Cindy. You were going to say something.
so you were saying about being conscious leader and talking through inspiration. So basically, we be the change you want to see, be the change that you want to see, and inspire people, and be the invitation for others
Absolutely.
to offer. That's the most graceful way to do it. So yes,
Yes.
show up at the events.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Cindy and Victoria. You want to round off this session? Anything else you want to add on to this?
No, I totally agree with all information. This is a really exciting, important, interesting, and thank you, Cindy, for your time today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining in. Today, we also have another session coming up later in the evening. So we look forward to seeing you. Of course, register now to meet us on February the 23rd. And we look forward to seeing you in Singapore, as well as later online for more exciting conversations with partners and investors and change makers, part of the IIF journey. So see you soon. Thank you, Victoria. And
See
thank you
you.
so much, Cindy,
Bye
for
bye.
joining us.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.